Dun, 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 dun.
The Daily Wire is really pushing. You know, when they said that they were going to be adventuring into the entertainment space, they weren't kidding. I mean, they made a lot of announcements at that backstage event, and we're certainly seeing some profitability from that. Not only have we had, it seems, one film, at least presently released, that has done very well, got critical acclaim. It's certainly, I think, got the audience reception. A lot of people talk about it from a point of reference. I can certainly see that based on the trailer. I haven't signed up yet. I got to get a Daily Wire subscription. It's too many subscriptions. But I would give my money to the Daily Wire. I absolutely agree with their mission. I think they're making some good stuff, especially since, they're making some good shows and some good entertainment. Shut-In has looked really good. I've been very impressed again. They're both like thrillers. And then, of course, they have the Terror on the Prairie movie starring Gina Carano. For all of us Gina Carano supporters, we're finally getting it. Well, it was so nice, by the way, of Daily Wire. I really do. I commend them for that. That's really when I became such a huge fan was, well, you're starring for the people that have been wronged, right? You're the Good Samaritans. And Gina definitely does that. I'm so excited to watch her movie. Anyway, Terror on the Prairie. I can't wait. But we also have new comedy projects coming out from Adam Carolla. I have to admit, I haven't heard much of him. I know he's a big name. I think I saw somewhere like he was especially a big name in the podcasting space. I think he's got a certain title that's kind of been thrown around. But the first time I really listened to him was a clip of him with some of you might, for those of you who might be, I don't tend to get into politics much on this channel. It's something I try to shy away from. But, I try. There are some times where a certain project will bring up political connections, and even then I try to be very middle of the road on things. Just I understand that maybe not everybody shares my perspective, and I don't want to make anybody feel alienated from my channel. But the first time I heard him was on a clip featured with Dave Rubin on his show, The Rubin Report. He's somebody that I have a lot of respect for. I really admire Dave Rubin. But if you're not familiar, Dave Rubin has this thing, or not familiar with him, he has this, I think it's August, he has this pattern every year where he takes like a month off the grid, essentially, takes his cell phone, computers, something I should be doing, and just takes a month break. I'm not going to let out the world, it's something a little more therapeutic, right? Because we can only take so much information in during our day. We all need a break. Definitely me. We all get addicted, right? But every time he comes back, it's really funny. Like last year, it was Michael Knowles, again from the Daily Wire, one of their prominent faces. And then this year, it was Adam Carolla. So he'll do a month recap of, here's everything that happened in your time away. It's kind of funny to listen back and wow, a lot happened during a month, didn't it? I mean, last year's was especially crazy. But this year, from what I saw of Adam Carolla, he has a very personable demeanor. And I think that'll be very interesting. I believe this is a stand-up show, so it's different from a podcast. Well, kind of. I mean, there may be some overlap in some regards, but I would imagine, at least from the thumbnail, it sounded like there's a studio audience here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Well, the Daily Wire is doing a lot the live audience space, because Candace Owens has her show too, and it's different. It's not about stand-up comedy. This is something new for them. This is what it says apparently about this new program that's coming out for the Daily Wire as an exclusive on their subscription service, Truth Yeller. This is the IMDb synopsis. Comedians used to be society's truth tellers, pointing out life's absurdities regardless of whose feelings might be slightly offended. In a world of microaggressions, pearl-clutching, and faux outrage, oh boy, this is going to be ballsy. Adam Carolla has had to take truth-telling to another level. Truth Yeller gives you a little stand-up, a little interview, a little improv, and a lot of laughs all through the lens of one of the most important voices in America, the voice of a comedian. Well, that's great. I do think comedy's veered off into weird directions. I mean, so absurd directions. I've seen, some still good. For example, not that I'm too happy with Netflix in the moment because they still have cuties on the platform, but once they get their heads on straight and move it, I would recommend you go watch, if you're an adult, there is some provocative language and some, edgy material, but Kevin Hart, who I love the guy, has a, what was it called? Irresponsible was the name of his stand-up routine. It was actually quite good. I liked it. But, there's, especially in the stand-up space, I've seen a real mix. I mean, where, Kevin Hart's been great. There's a clip from it of, Jimmy Carr, who I'm not familiar with. He's got a new show coming out, his dark material, and that joke is, really? It's not a joke. It's just dull. It's not even funny. It just comes across as, venting. That's not comedy. That's well, if you're aggrieved with the world, it's you can laugh in the face of chaos, can't you? It's not everything needs to be a drudgery. Anyway, yes, this is going to be obviously pretty potent. And it's definitely got some big names coming on. We're going to look at 2 clips just to get a bit of a perspective. And this one's pretty long, actually. Jay Leno is appearing on this program to some capacity. I don't know, like maybe in the first episode, maybe this is like an ongoing appearance, recurring, I'm not sure. But Jay Leno is a big name in the comedy space, and definitely has a huge audience. So let's see. Some strength right out. But, Adam Carolla, I'm sure, again, from the reference I've heard to his name, has some connections. Let's go ahead and watch this first. I mean, you wanted the Daily Wire to make a big splash. Here you go. We're going to watch this first, and we're going to talk about it more in my condensed review segment. Follow us watching the video again. This clip in particular is called, just the full name of it, Jay Leno on Fauci's Fat COVID Soldiers. I have no idea what that means. Normally I'm like, well, is there something else I can say? Like maybe to give it a good interlude. Let's just let it speak for itself because I don't know where this is going. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look.
A legendary comedian and also a dear, dear friend, Mr. Jay Leno.
Definitely one of the bigger names in like the late night talk show realm.
Very nice.
Which those have gotten stale over the years too.
I have to say, thank you.
I haven't seen too much of him personally, but I want to see more.
Thank you.
I know he's a respected name.
No, this is the biggest
Good
audience,
audience.
for the last year. You couldn't go to bars, you couldn't go to restaurants. You had to keep 6 feet away from women. It's like every guy had to live like Harvey Weinstein. We're in lockdown for months and months, which is actually...
You don't see this on the late night talk shows.
And I see Dr. Fauci every night on the news, and he says the same thing. The coronavirus is a war. We have to fight it like a war. And when you think about it, it's the only war in history that when the war is over, all the soldiers are fatter. And there was a lot of talk that wealthier communities got preferential treatment when it came to giving out the...
Comedy is a dying art.
That's true.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
Like in Beverly Hills, I got the Pfizer vaccine with a Madeira drizzle on a chocolate llama biscotti. See, I don't think you got that in the Valley.
No, not Reseda.
A lot of mom and pop restaurants went out of... Here's how bad it was. I saw a mafia don getting dinner to go at an Olive Garden. Okay, that shows you how many restaurants. I had a friend of mine in Burbank, a funeral director, committed suicide. He didn't want to, he just needed the business. See, that's how bad, I'm just saying. And of course, the saddest had to be Tom Selleck. You knew about that.
I didn't know about that.
Turned down for a reverse mortgage. Yeah. What? Yeah. Terrible thing. But enough about that. Yeah. But enough about that. We're over the hump now.
That was just the introduction. I'm pretty sure that's what they were trying to say by that. Like I said, I haven't seen too much of Jay Leno personally. I don't watch the late night shows. I mean, let's just face it. I mean, if you want to talk about comedy dying, late night shows are pathetic. I mean, and I'm not trying to pick on people individually, but it's like the grand mix of them. They're all the same. It's like I wouldn't watch any of them. Like, just none appeal. And it's all like cringe humor and, well, the safe boundary. It's like, comedy sometimes, think back to the years where someone would walk into a comedy venue and know that, when the minute I walk in here, I'm cannon fodder, right? I'm like, I have as much, capacity to get made fun of or have a joke, thrown my way as the next guy over at the table, 2 feet away from me. It's like, again, everybody's fair game. I haven't been to too many comedy clubs personally, but I mean, I'd love to go. I pretty much would go in there being like, hey, I might be a target. I accept that. I'm fine. Hey, it's like, you want to make fun of me? Fine. Okay. But anyway, I understand. I give off a lot that probably people can make fun of, I'm sure. Anyway, it's just, just who I am. Everybody's unique. This looks like a lot of fun. I mean, the audience is very interactive, very receptive. I love the seating, by the way. It's a great environment, very down to earth. I love the blue color. And it does seem that both of them have a good stage presence. I mean, more so, this is definitely the Jay Leno segment, because I imagine he's a special guest. And we're going to look at another clip. That's why I picked 2, actually. And every day we're going to look at a separate one where I believe it's Adam Carolla. Right? He's the one leading the show. So I'd anticipate you're going to... That's part of what we're going to need to consider is, like, how, he operates. Right? From just like a critical standpoint looking at it. But I think this has some serious potential. I mean, again, if you're going to bring in big names like Jay Leno and not get all PC and actually be quite funny about it. I mean, that Harvey Weinstein joke. Ricky Gervais did it brilliantly at the what was it? The Golden Globes, I think, all those years ago. So I love that guy. Respect him so much. That's a good comedian. I mean, let's see. Comedy's fair game. When you bring up Ricky Gervais, it's like, yeah, let's see. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, we're going the full wave. And you Hollywood people, it was great. So, hey, this will be a lot of fun. I guess a lot of topics. Some obviously some serious subjects as well. Some serious truths communicated. What are your guys' thoughts with Adam Carolla Truth Yeller, at least the first round of it from a first impression? Like I said, we're going to look at another clip that we'll be able to see Adam Carolla more in focus in terms of managing his own show or commandeering it. But let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget all the good stuff from liking, subscribing, sharing that bell. And until we get to watch that next clip, I will see you guys whatever point that is. For now, thanks for watching this video. I love you guys. Don't forget to love, fellow man. God bless and peace.